I can't be made a fool of. Hello, my friends! An exciting time for me because I have a couple of Suntup edition books in the mailbox. I already opened up one of them, and it was a numbered edition of the Magus. But this one that I've got that I'm going to show you is probably the most exciting artist edition that I've ever gotten. And for me, I love the artist editions from Suntup Editions. They do a phenomenal job, a great value. You get so much in a Smithsonian binding illustrated hardcover book, usually cloth-covered boards, slipcases, beautiful stuff, and a great value compared to other publishers. But typically, I'm most excited, because I'm a numbered guy, I'm most excited for the numbered editions of those books. So the artist edition is just another good edition that I want to add to my collection. It's the second best version of a book that I'm going to have usually. And so I typically am going to be a little bit less excited because it's the second best version of a book that I'm going to have. But this time it's a little bit different, and it may still be the same. I've ordered a numbered edition and the artist edition of Psycho by Robert Bloch from Suntup Editions. Ever hear of it? But I was very excited for the artist edition this time for a couple of reasons. Number one, the reversed side of the dust jacket artwork feels right to me. It looks like a dust jacket ought to look in the pictures. And I'll show that to you. It's a reversible dust jacket. But also, it's a letterpress printed artist edition, so an extra feature. And I love the book. I love the book. I grew up as a kid. Psycho was one of the serial killer types of movies that my mom let me watch. It seems that, in her view, I couldn't watch movies about serial killers unless Chuck Norris was fighting them or Alfred Hitchcock was directing them. So she had some little caveats to her rules on the kinds of movies that a young boy should be allowed to watch. And Psycho was on the list of movies I could watch. However, the sequels were not. Go figure, Alfred Hitchcock wasn't doing those movies. But I was excited for this one. The dust jacket looks great. Letterpress printing is exciting. And here it is. And I want to get it opened up and show you what it's all about. So this artist edition is limited to 750 copies, and they sold out fast. They sold out fast. A lot of people were excited to get it. For a long time, artist editions were limited to 1,000 copies. They're not individually numbered, but they only make so many. And that number has fluctuated from book to book and over time and such as that. So some have fewer copies, some have more copies actually. But this one, 750 copies, seemed to be just right. They sold out really fast. And here it is, delivered. And Suntup Editions uses nice, good boxes and this thick foam to protect the books. And in here it's cut out to fit the book. So let me see, there might be some more information in here. Here is, we got, this case, 2 custom bookmarks with beautiful artwork on them. I'll show them both to you. But one of the things I look forward to with Suntup Editions are these bookmarks. I save them, I love them. I want to make sure I've got one for every book. So this is Psycho by Robert Bloch, introduction by Joe R. Lansdale, one of my favorite authors walking God's green earth, illustrated by Greg Krutz. And there's another bookmark in here. Let's see what she looked like. So I'll let you look first. You earned it. You deserve it. There you go. What about this bookmark? It says, illustrated by Greg Krutz, jacket painting by Paul Mann. So you can see here at the top is one side of the dust jacket for the artist edition, and that is Paul Mann's painting. And I'll also show you when I get it out the other side of the dust jacket, which is a licensed reproduction or licensed copy of the original dust jacket from the first edition from 1959, and we'll take a look at that. And that's the style. When I think Psycho, that's what I think. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. Here I got this little page here. Errata, whatever it is, errata. As a correction to the information on the colophon page, the artist edition of Psycho by Robert Bloch is limited to 750 copies. So that page may have a different number on it, but this goes with the book. And sometimes those can create confusion over the years. I did buy on the secondary market a copy of a book that came originally with an errata page like that, saying that the limitation was different than what the colophon page said, but when I got it, that wasn't included. So some might say, well, that's going to create a problem for me down the road. I'm going to look at this, it says 350 copies, there really weren't that many. I want that page that corrects it. I thought maybe I should ask Paul Suntup at Suntup Editions, could they send me an extra one just so I could stick it in the book for 20 years down the road? And then I just never bothered. Forgot all about it until this very moment. Anyway, let's get this book out of the Suntup Editions beautiful packaging, which helps to always ensure that my book makes it through hell and high water to get to me in beautiful condition. And it is beautiful. I see no busted up anything. You'll see in their packaging, they'll have it shrink wrapped here for the artist editions. Usually they're shrink wrapped like this. And let me get it out of the shrink wrap and we'll talk about it a little bit. We'll look at it. We'll see how nice it looks. Now this is a knife. That's a knife. No matter what Crocodile Dundee might say, that's a knife. And this for some people is a scary, worrisome process right here, because I've got a sharp instrument, hardened steel, and it's within millimeters of my prized collection that I love so much, and I don't want to damage in any way. But I've got a secret. I've got a secret that has never failed me yet. The secret is this: you cut the plastic, not the book. There you go. And let's see how I did in my task. Let's get this plastic off, because I didn't buy plastic. Some people, a lot of people, will buy these books and they'll leave them in the shrink wrap, and good for them. Hope they love it. I don't. I take them out of that shrink wrap right away, and I want to look at them for a variety of reasons. Some of the reasons people talk about is moisture, foxing. Moisture gets trapped inside and it causes stains on the page ends and stuff. I don't know. I've got some books that are foxed. I don't know if that's why or not. But one thing that I have run across personally is I had a set of books, probably half of them I bought from the publisher, left them shrink wrapped for years. And one day I decided I'm going to take all these out and I'm going to put the dust jackets and a Brodart protector and all that junk. And one of those books was missing the signature page. Fortunately for me, that publisher still had a copy, sent me another one. It worked out all right. But man, wouldn't that suck to think your prized limited edition book didn't have the signature page or the limitation page in it? And that's what I found out a few years after I bought it. But looking at this slipcase, it looks so cool. I'm going to show you up close. This is a Japanese metallic paper that they've wrapped this slipcase in. And then you can see at the top, it's capped with a type of cloth. And this is something that Suntup has done more often over the last couple of years to help protect, as some of the materials, if they're not tucked away nicely, they get damaged easily. So this is not only does it look good, but it helps to protect what is probably a pretty delicate type of material there. It looks beautiful, but sometimes the beautiful things are not rugged and durable. And there's the back of our slipcase. For those of you who like to put your books on the shelf the wrong way, this one may be the best looking book on your shelf. Maybe. I don't know, it looks flippin' fabulous, flippin' phenomenal. I love the colors, I love the materials. It's such a nice slipcase. Like I said, the most excited I've ever been for an artist edition. What a package. I love the book, I love the presentation, I love the design. So I could not wait to get my grubby little mitts on one of these. And here it is. This is the outside, or this is the dust jacket. It is reversible. It is a painting by Paul Mann, and that's how it comes when you get it from Suntup Editions. I want to take it off, and I want to see the back side. I want to show you that artwork all stretched out, but I want to take it off and show you the other alternative that we have here. And so there it is, all stretched out. You see what it looks like. And on the flip side, on the other side, here's what it looks like right here. And looking at pictures and all that stuff, this was the one that I thought, no offense intended, but to me this is the classic styling. Not only, I mean, this is a beautiful piece of artwork, and it portrays what may be the most iconic thing about this book and the movie is the Bates Motel and the house above Bates Motel. But this style here, man, it just, when I think of Psycho, that's what I think of. So I think perhaps my book's going to go on the shelf with this part of the dust jacket outward, and I'll always have this thing right here to know it's there, to take it out and look at it and such as that. But let's get to the book itself. And it looks good. It's one of those books that without the dust jacket, it really does look nice. So we got the gold foil stamping on the spine, and kind of take a look at the materials. We got this this paper cloth. There's a name for it, and gosh, if it doesn't escape me right now, quarter bound around, and then a different sort of paper covered the boards. You can see how nice it looks. You can see the texture and all that kind of stuff. It's beautiful. It looks so good. So glad to have it. And there you can see, take a closer look at the Smithsonian binding. But it is nice. It is a great one. And the author, Robert Bloch, is no longer with us, and so there are no copies of this book signed by him. I do have the 35th anniversary edition from Gauntlet Press that's signed and numbered. It's signed by Robert Bloch. But of course, as it would figure, the nicest versions of this book are coming out after Robert Bloch has passed. But there's the colored in papers there. And I'm going to flip on back to the colophon page. I want to see what it says and see the signatures on there. So the colophon page says that there are 1,000 copies. All are signed by Greg Kreutz, who illustrated the interior plates, and Paul Mann, who illustrated the artist edition dust jacket. The book is cast in linotype Garamond with display type and titles hand set in foundry Garamond. Printed letterpress for Suntup editions on a Heidelberg cylinder press by the Exorcist press on Mohawk superfine paper. So there you go. I hope you are interested. But there are our signatures. So the errata not only tells us that the limitation for this book is different. Well, it only tells us that the limitation is 750 copies as opposed to 1,000, which the colophon page does say. So we've seen that. I'd like to go through here now and see, hey, look at here. This is, you can kind of see, it's tipped on one side. An image of Robert Bloch there. Just neat. Neat, cool, looks great. I want to take a look at this letterpress printing. So there is chapter 7, and I just open it up and I feel it. I feel that printing. I feel the indentations from the press on the paper, and the paper is it's got a bit of a texture to it as well. It is thick paper. It is nice paper. It feels like good stuff. This is not a book you're going to buy at Barnes & Noble. This is something else, something special, something that you're going to want to have for sure if you got any interest in fine books or this book in general. Now I want to go through here and take a look at these interior illustrations. I think there are 6 interior illustrations. So once again, one thing you're going to get from Suntup Editions is value, your money's worth. You get a great book made with great materials, letterpress printed, and lots of artwork. It's an illustrated book. And I couldn't be any happier with what I have in my hands than I am right now, and showing you some of this iconic artwork. One of the things about this book, compared to the iconic movie from 1960, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, is the character Norman Bates himself. In the book, the character is described much differently than what Anthony Perkins looks like. I'm told that at the time Anthony Perkins was considered a good-looking, attractive young man that the ladies might have really liked. Whereas Norman Bates in the book is described much differently. the kind of a man that the women are not going to like. And then another main difference that I thought was probably a little bit more important was the character Mary Crane. She's not described much differently than she is in the movie. Janet Leigh seemed like she might be Mary Crane. But the book, to me, was so much more clear on her motivations, what her problems were, her relationship with the guy she was seeing, the reasons why she might be tempted to steal $40,000 and go away, and also the fact that she had a plan on how to get away with it. You think, hey, you steal $40,000 from your boss, they know you stole it, they're going to get you. But she had a plan, and it seemed at the time, 1959 or whenever the book was set, it seemed very logical that this plan could have worked back then, and it could have made a big difference in her life, in her relationship, in her hopes, dreams, and aspirations. Spoiler alert. I showed you the picture and then I said spoiler alert. I don't think that works right. But I think you've had plenty of time to find out. And if you haven't, well, I'm sorry. I spilled the beans. But anyway, the book, I've heard people say, I grew up with the movie. So the movie was Psycho to me. Psycho was a movie. And then years and years and years later, I read the book Psycho. But I read it with the mindset of, I'm going to read the book. I know I knew the spoiler already, but I want to read the book. I want to read a good book. I love the story. Why not read it? And when I read the book, I got a little something more. Not only did I have Alfred Hitchcock's vision of this story, and Anthony Perkins and Janet Leigh, I had these vision, but now I had the story, what I felt like, explained a little bit better. Made a little bit more sense to me, and overall, Psycho is a much better thing in my heart and mind than it was before I'd read this book. I don't think I've got any more lies to tell. I can't think of any. I'm trying to think, but I've got no more lies to tell. So I just want to say thank you for your time. I do truly appreciate it. If you take a notion and don't mind too much, how about hitting that button on the deal that says to subscribe? Subscribe to the channel. It doesn't put any money in my pocket. I don't get money, but it is nice to know that somebody cares enough to push a button. Push a button. Thank you. My kids also, they get excited. They say, how many subscribers do you have? And I say, I say whatever the number is, and they say, wow, that's great, knowing that the people that they watch on YouTube have millions of subscribers. But anyway, c'est la vie, baby. Doo-doo.